education in Guru Nanak College, MA Economics and MCA at Madras University. He was appointed as DMS in 1990 and selected as team head to implement computerization in procurement activities in ICF. Since 1996 into 2015, he has trained ICF vendors in Indian Railways e-procurement system and government e-marketing. He has been promoted as purchase manager from 2015 and he has 23 years of experience in procurement and depot activities. So kindly sir, please come over.
See, another interesting and useful session is coming up with our ICF Perambur Railway coach manufacturing factory. Now, the present central government is focusing not only on defense but also on every other sector. You know, Vande Bharat trains and all, and technologically superior coaches, and so many things are coming up, and we want our MSMEs to contribute. I'm sure, like defense and aerospace, railways also welcome innovative product. Whatever they manufacture is okay. But I would request all of you to come out with innovative ideas. I'm sure they will accept. Am I right, sir? That also, I'm sure he will also address that point. The situation is now very much conducive for the MSMEs to come out with all your ideas, innovative ideas, cost-cutting ideas, which is beneficial to the country. Whatever you have in your mind, please get in touch with them. They are ready. That is what I heard, and they have already done so much. Make use of this opportunity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Prabhu, AMM Assistant Material Manager from Integral Coach Factory. So today in the session, we are going to see about the opportunities for the vendors to supply to Indian Railways. Okay. Actually, every year we conduct this vendor development programs, so that every year we conduct many vendor development programs so that we have enough vendor base who can supply the material required for coach manufacturing on our schedule. Being a production unit, we cannot stall our process because of want of material. So, as you know, Indian Railways is the 4th largest in the world. These are some of our strengths of Indian Railways. And like any government organization, we are also guided by a lot of rules for procurement. We cannot just buy from anybody and everybody. So we have certain rules and regulations to follow, which we follow regularly, and we buy all the coach components needed. Okay, coming back to ICF from Indian Railways, ICF is one of the premier coach manufacturing unit of Indian Railways, which was started in way back 1955. Now, up to 2023, we have manufactured so many varieties of coaches. Around 175 varieties of coaches have been manufactured so far. And everybody knows about Vande Bharat Express, which is now the crown in our jewel. The jewel in our crown. Okay. Vande Bharat is everywhere now. Now, imagine not only Vande Bharat Sleeper is on the way, Vande Bharat Sadharan is on the way. So imagine anything now, the future is for Vande Bharat only, and this was designed and developed by Integral Coach Factory entirely. And we need many new components to manufacture all those things. So we are looking forward for Indian manufacturers only. And these are some of the statistics, the number of coaches we have manufactured. Actually, we have a capacity to manufacture around 5,000 coaches, but due to this COVID and other pandemic effects, we have reduced now to around 3,500 coaches per year. And this will be our purchase grant. You can see the current purchase grant is around 9,600 crores. So there is a giant sleeping next to you in Chennai who purchases around 9,600 crores every year. That's a huge money, correct? So many don't take our railway supply very seriously. Because of that only I'm telling you this. Around 9,600 crores worth of materials are being purchased for manufacturing of our coaches. And in that, there is a breakup. You can see, as you can see, we have, from MSME alone, last year alone, we have purchased for 2,730 crores worth of material from MSMEs alone. These are the number of items we purchase for our manufacturing of coach, around 7,300 different components, varied from price from 10 rupees to 6 crores worth of material is being purchased. You can visit our stall at stall number 19, where we have some technical persons who can give you details about all the items, and whatever critical items are required are being exhibited there. Okay. Now, coming back to procurement, anything in government is procured through tendering process. We don't straight away buy directly from anybody. So, just for this tendering process, Indian Railways is following a system called Indian Railway e-procurement system, which was introduced way back in the year 2008, and still now all our tenders are electronic tenders only. There is no manual tenders floated in Indian Railways. So ICF also follows that suit, and we publish all our tenders in the website, which is called www.ireps.gov.in. That is a website for our Indian Railway tendering system. So all our tenders are being published in that. So you need to register in that website once to participate in any tender of any Indian railway, zonal railways, production units, even services are being tendered now in IREPS alone. Not only goods and services, even services are also procured through this website alone. To register in this website, you need a class 3 digital signature, and everything is online. There is no need to produce anything manually. You submit all your required details online, and once you complete the form, everything is checked, and you are given a login and password. With that login, you can log in into the system and are allowed to participate in any open tender. There are two types of tender which we'll be seeing later. So any open tender, you are always allowed to participate in any open tender, provided you pay the EMD. And you know MSME has an exemption from payment of EMD. So any MSME firm can participate in any open tender of Indian Railways through this website. Now, not alone through this procurement system, we have one more type of procurement through GEM, Government E-Market, which was introduced recently in the recent past. And you all know about GEM, I hope. Government e-marketplace, where you display your product and I select the product whichever I want required. Nowadays, Indian Railways, for all the common available items like stationaries, commonly available goods are purchased only through GEM. All our safety equipments for employees, all those commonly available items except drawing items are bought through GEM. So I encourage you to register yourself in GEM also to supply to Indian Railways for common available items. Earlier I was telling about type of tenders. So there are two major divisions in the tendering process. Any tender which is less than 25 lakhs, we float a limited tender. We call it a limited tender because the tender is given to only a limited group of suppliers who have already successfully supplied that particular item. Suppose if you see the tender in the website and you apply, you give us a request that I can also supply this item along with some credentials. Because you say I cannot allow you to participate in the tender. So we need certain credentials like your company, list of plant and machineries, or your registration with certain agencies, or your purchase order details which you have supplied previously to some other organizations. With those credentials, if you apply for that particular tender, we allow you also to participate in that limited tender. Those are called limited tender, which is valued less than 25 lakhs, which we allow only a certain group of vendors to participate. Remaining all are called open tenders, which is open to everybody. Anybody having the capacity to manufacture the item can participate in those tenders without any restriction. Without any restriction. You give you give the EMD, submit the EMD, then go on and required eligibility criteria is given for each and every tender. In every tender, there is an eligibility criteria. You have to give the requisite documents as a proof to fulfill the eligibility criteria. Whether you are fulfilling the eligibility criteria, you have to give certain documents. And whatever credentials you have, apart from that, you upload all those things, then your offer is scrutinized. After opening, it is scrutinized, and if it is found that you are suitable to supply certain items, you are given a development order in the beginning. Suppose if you don't have proper experience, we consider that initially you can be placed with a development order, and development order is placed. On successful completion of development order, you will be getting regular orders. And in certain cases, we float some special limited tenders also. Special limited tenders are nothing but the value is more than 25 lakhs, but we know only a group of vendors can supply those items for Indian Railways. For example, a bearing, coach bearing. We know only 3 major players are there in that field. So we just send an inquiry only to them. We don't have any other vendors supplying bearings to Indian Railways. Only 3. 3 are approved by RDSO as on date. Many are applying for that. So in the days to come, if we have more vendors, that also may be transferred to a open tender. So because we know there is a limited scope of vendors, we give a special limited tenders for those items. Now, vendor approving agencies. Indian Railways has a unique way of approving vendors for certain items. See, all items cannot be bought from every vendor. Certain items are called safety items, which rely, those items are the very important component of the coach, so that if it is compromised, the entire coach safety will be compromised and the passengers may be affected after an accident. So those components are thoroughly designed, and RDSO approves all those vendors who have to supply those items. See, RDSO is there, there is BLW, there is CLW, ICF. ICF is the nodal agency for approving EMU and non-LHB coach items. Any critical item, any safety component of these coaches, the vendors who are desiring to supply those items need to get an approval from ICF. Initially, after approval, on application, receipt of your application, we visit your factory, we assess your capacity, your machinery, and your quality assurance plan. We give a quality assurance plan. You are allowed to modify that if there is any improvement is required, you can do that. And whatever quality assurance plan you are giving to us, it is analyzed and approved. And we come and check now and then whether you are following the quality assurance plans. So first, initially you are approved as a development vendor. Then based on certain quantities, for example, if you are approved as a supplier for roof and sidewall, the entire coach roof and sidewall is an approved item of ICF. Suppose you are approved as a development vendor for that roof and sidewall. So if you supply one number of that roof and sidewall successfully without any trouble, okay, then you are considered as a regular vendor from the second supply. Okay, only one number is enough because item is so huge. So we have certain quantities for each item. So on completion of that, you are becoming a regular vendor. Similarly, RCF and MCF are also approving certain items only, not all items. See, earlier I was telling you there are around 7,200 items which we procure. Not all the items, only certain critical items which are related to safety, passenger amenity, we buy from approved vendors. The remaining all are general items. Now, in this procurement, what all benefits are given to MSME? Most of the benefits are known to you. Once again, I want to brush your memory. So, first one is you are exempted from payment of EMD. If you are a registered MSME, you submit your required proof as a MSME. You are not required to submit any earnest money deposit at all. So you can participate in any tender without deposit. Then, if a firm becomes medium also, you can enjoy the benefits up to 3 years, whichever is offered to MSME. And price preference is also given to MSME firms. In case L1 is a non-MSME firm, L1 to up to 15% is the price preference given to MSME. Only thing, you have to match the L1 price. We will not give it to your price. If you fall within the range of L1 plus 15%, you will be considered providing that you match L1's price. If there are more than one MSME, the regular splitting formula which is given in our tender document, that will be applied. Now, apart from this price preference, there is a 4% reservation within the 25% allotted to MSME for SC/ST entrepreneurs. And within that 25%, another 3% is reserved for MSME owned by women. And there are 358 items which we procure exclusively from MSMEs alone. We don't procure from any other vendors. The benefits shall be given to all eligible MSME irrespective of their relevance to the product category. Now, coming back to procurement policy, that is Make in India, preference to Make in India. It was introduced in the year 2017 with a view to encourage more Indian vendors. Instead of importing a lot of coach components, a preference was given to local manufacturers who are Make in India. So it was introduced in the year 2017, according to which a local content of every product is calculated as given in the first point. The total value from which the imported component is reduced and a percentage is calculated, and the percentage whichever comes is the local content for that product. And this local content is that nodal ministry can control if they think there are sufficient number of local vendors to manufacture the item, they can fix up to 80% of the local content also. It is given in percentage alone. Okay. By default, if nothing is given, the nodal ministry is not given any local content, by default it is taken as 50%. Anybody who has 50% local content will be considered as class 1 local supplier with 50% of local content. Any vendor who is having up to 20% is considered as class 2 local supplier according to this rule. Anybody who is having less than 20% as local supplier is considered as non-local supplier. So the local content is very important. If you have local content of more than 50%, you are considered as class 1 local supplier. And the rule applies like this: when there is a procurement which is non-divisible, the quantity is not divisible, in that case, this procurement policy is applied. If the L1 bidder is not a local, class 1 local supplier, the 50% of the order quantity will be given to the L1, and the balance 50% will be given to the class 1 supplier who is matching his price, who is willing to matching his price. Suppose the L1 50% class 1 local supplier doesn't want to match, then it is passed on to the next person. This is how it works on a non-division. Suppose, according to the condition B, if the L1 supplier is not a class 1 supplier, the L2 or the L3 class 1 supplier is offered the entire quantity. Entire quantity is given, and the L1 non-local supplier is ignored. In case of where is a divisible thing where you can split the quantity into multiple times. The L1 bidder is not a local supplier, L1 local supplier. Only 50% of order he gets, the remaining 50% is reserved for the class 1 supplier. And so on it goes. So, the class 2 supplier will not get any purchase preference at all. Only the class 1 supplier will get any purchase preference. Now, in the declaration of local content, the firm has to declare the local content of the product. If the value is less than, the value of the tender is less than 10 crores, the firm itself can give a self-declaration stating the local content of the product by submitting a self-declaration. If the value is more than 10 crores, it has to be given by a costing auditor, CA. CA has to certify. In case of the company auditor has to give in. Otherwise, any firm, a practicing cost accountant can give, or chartered accountant can give a local content certificate. Only that is applicable. And there is a particular format for Indian Railways which is given in our tender schedule. The entire local content certificate has to be in that format alone. Any other format we don't accept. That's what it is written there, the common mistakes made in local. If you want to claim local content and you are a local supplier and you want any preference for above 10 crores, you have to give the local content certificate in the prescribed form. There are certain verification process which we do, and if it is found that you have given a false information, you will be debarred from procurement for a certain period. Now, for ICF registration, that is vendor approval. There are two types of registrations I am going to talk about now. One is for item approval. As I said, certain items are procured only from approved vendors. Suppose you want to supply an approved item to ICF, you have to apply through vendor approval process or UVAM in IREPS. It is the same website which I showed earlier, www.ireps.gov.in. There is a UVAM process in it. There you have to fill in a small form and give all your documents there. Then necessary process will be followed by our design department, which will approve your vendor status. First, initially you will get as a development vendor. Later on, you will be given as a regular supplier. The second registration which I am going to talk about is not item specific. It is done by the stores department of Integral Coach Factory. Not only Integral Coach Factory, any zonal railway does it, which is based on a trade group. All items we procure are broadly categorized as some trade groups. So this approval is based on trade groups. Whichever trade groups you are interested in supplying to Indian Railways or ICF, you can visit our website. This is our ICF vendor portal. You can visit. There is a list of trade groups available in that. You can go through it. Whichever trade group you are interested in, there is a small form to fill up there. You just fill up, take a printout of it, attach all the necessary documents and send it by post, or come and hand it over to us in person. So the process takes place. So we go through your applications. If necessary, some sort of inspection is done, and then the process, approval process is completed. Suppose if you are applying for registration not from Chennai, if you are not from Chennai or Tamil Nadu, whichever home railway you belong to, suppose you are from Mumbai, Central Railway or Western Railway will be your home railway. So you have to register there first, then come to ICF for vendor registration. So home registration is must for registering in ICF. Okay. So some documents are required, that will be a list, and you can visit our stall at stall number 19. We have a staff there, we have a SSC also there. They can answer all your queries. Now, there are certain critical items which I am going to show now. No need to explain about this. These critical items either have very few vendors who supply them, or certain items have only a single vendor supplying to us. So you can note down all these items. The same list available in our stall also, and we require vendors to supply these items. And anybody is willing to supply this item can always approach us. You can visit our office, you can take my mobile number, you can call us, you can WhatsApp. So we are here to help you to supply these items. These are the critical items. Bogie for Vande Bharat. At present we have only 3 vendors. The 4th one is a development. Only 4 vendors are supplying this complete bogie to ICF. Then there are parts of that bogie. We buy it in fully assembled conditions also. We buy as components and we assemble also. See, even the components also, we are not able to get sufficient vendors. So please, these are the items which ICF requires more vendors. Fiat bogie items. These are some of the Fiat bogie items which are all high precision items. Okay, these are high precision items and most of them are procured from approved vendors alone. There are some heavy fabrication items which is the end part of underframe, bogie bolster, which are heavy fabrication items. Then SS 304 partition frames, honeycomb partitions. SS fabrication is also much needed. As I said earlier, roof, complete coach roof, side walls, longitudinal beam which comes along the side of the coach, axle box housing. Even though it appears very small, this is a casting item. Casting item is difficult. You know about that. Okay. So here also we have very few vendors. Please do come. This is SS end wall, which comes in the end of the coaches. Underframe front part, which is a huge fabricated item. This is end wall. Again, Fiat bogie frames. This is the actual Fiat bogie frames. This is roof and side wall. As you can see, both the side walls and in the center there is a roof. We buy this as a set also. So we need vendors for roof and side wall. This is bogie bolster. Truffles for flooring. End part of modular frames, which is a part of our underframe. Partition frames. We make partitions in the coaches. Metal bonded rubber items. Again, we have very few vendors in this category. Metal bonded rubber items, maybe hardly 2-3 to my knowledge. So we need huge vendor base for this. Nose cones of EMUs and Vande Bharat, both. SS battery box and water tanks. Then stainless steel and FRP modular toilets. Especially stainless steel modular toilets. We need a lot of vendors. Doors. Again, it's one of the very critical component where we have very few suppliers. Doors. Aluminum doors, automatic doors for Vande Bharat. It's a huge demand now. Toilet mirrors with LED lighting. This is the latest one. Earlier we used to have a normal mirror. Now mirrors with the LED lightings. Electrical panels, transformer, battery chargers, HVAC units. AC units for all AC coaches. Again, this is an RDSO approved item. We have only 6 or 7 vendors supplying all these things. They don't meet our entire production requirement. That is our problem. Not only our requirement, they have to supply the requirement for open railways also. Now this is a toilet evacuation system which we are 100% importing from some other countries. So this need to be developed in India. It is in the bio toilets which we install. This component is 100% imported now, especially this evacuation system. So none of the vendors are coming forward to develop this in India. 4.5 regulated battery charger, this need to be developed. Pressurized flushing system. Again, this is one of the critical things which we need vendors in India. Gangway rubber flooring. It is a connection between two coaches where you walk. This gangway rubber items also are required to be. Aluminum automatic sliding doors, which are installed in Vande Bharat and other premium coaches. CCTV systems, carbon fiber technology with which we use for nose cone. Vande Bharat, many were criticized because of damage to the nose cone. Right? So we are trying to improve that through some carbon fiber technology. Seats and berths, we are introducing new material to that. Earlier, for Vande Bharat, we were importing, now we are developing in local vendors itself. Handholds, FRP paneling, powder coated inner frame for windows, window frame, reclining chair for air chair cars, litter bin, semi bulkheads for EMUs, stainless steel grab poles at doorways, toilet pans, stainless steel wash basins, luggage rack, diffusers, SS grab rails, smoothing reactors, bracket fans in toilets, brake application relay, cable heads. Some items may be appearing very small, but we have listed here because we are struggling with vendor. Lightning arresters, these are all electrical components. There is a huge demand for electrical components, lights, LED lights, pre-cooling plug socket, roof insulators. So this is our phone number and email address to contact us for any queries with the registration. So you can note down my mobile number also, 90031 90031 41770. I am Prabhu. You are always welcome. Whenever you call, if you don't pick the call, you can leave a message. I'll respond to you whenever I'm free. So, yes, sir. So, mobile number 90031 41770. You are always welcome. Because I say always, you are always welcome, please don't call after 11 o'clock in the night. Yeah, I'm very serious here. Sometimes I get calls even at late night also. Say, sorry sir, we are free now only. So please do call whenever we are able to respond. We'll respond to your queries. Now, anybody has any questions now? Okay, thank you very much. You can please visit our stall at number 19.
Sir, one question.
Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry, one question, sir.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I am behind the audio system. Sir, yes, you are asking the suppliers. We are into currently machined components, but we are also trying to explore the new fabrication kind of things. If that is going to be a new or a startup kind of or a expansion activity, how will you accommodate us? Because you have any kind of experience registered the same domain, or it's possible to really explore new avenues if there is any potential?
Actually, sir,
Thank you.
for many of the components which we buy, as I said, except those which are approved vendors item. Apart from that, anybody is welcome to try and quote for that first. Whenever the tender comes, once you quote for that, and if you are in the range of ordering, we consider you for a development order first. Because you are new, only thing we give a development order which is up to 5% of the total procured quantity. Okay, up to 5% we give on development vendors. If it is considered reasonable, we go up to 20%. From 5 to 20, we are all giving a we don't give any price preference for developing vendors. Occasionally, we float only a development tender, which is called development tender, where no regular vendor is allowed to participate in that. We consider certain items require a development tender. Recently also we have floated a tender which is purely development. Only new vendors can participate in that. So once you participate based on the credentials you have given, if your credentials are okay, we even come to your factory to visit and see what kind of machineries you have, and we take a decision for giving you a development order. Okay, sir? 19. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
It was so nice of you. So you explained all the parts which is you need really for the ICF company. You explained it very well. Thank you very much. Now the President of Swatantra Foundation, Mr. Ram.
How many of you are currently supplying to coach factories? Only one. So how many of you are now interested in supplying to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Only one thing, sir. Rome is not built in a day. So today you listen to me. Tomorrow don't expect an order. That's what I'm trying to say. Please come. Please come forward first. Visit us. Know the ways in which you have to quote. Know the ways in you have to manufacture the item. Supply to us in quality. And I'm assuring you, if you do that, no, we'll never leave you. We'll always pounce on you to supply that material, please. Okay. That's what happens.
Sir, one suggestion. You have on the one side passenger amenities committee, where people like us go and complain. Now the other side is the manufacturing. Is there any connection between these two?
I'm only the connection.
So I suggest you to conduct at least one such meeting connecting the problems and the solutions. In the sense, people are ready to manufacture. The issues related to bathrooms, issues related to comforts, that is directly affecting the passengers, or ACs, certain other things, cleanliness, there are so many. And also your own technical aspects, like, you cannot attach more coaches because it cannot pull the joints and all. If you can come out with your issues, like how the army is doing problem statement kind of things, and if our passenger amenities committees can come out with their problems, and if anybody is ready to give a solution, why not?
Sure, sir. We'll try.
It may be very small, but it will be very comfortable to the passengers. Am I right?
Thank you all for being with us till the end. Today is the last session of the day. Next we have Defense Startup Awards. Defense Startup Awards. Startup people who are getting the awards. We have a next program for that now. So I hope you all remain back so that it will be encouragement for startups people.
It is 100% being imported. Okay, not only wheels for Vande Bharat, some high-speed trains we import. So there is no manufacturer in India to match that quality, which is very, I don't know what to call it. Okay, so if any of you can come and explore that area, there's a huge potential. Instead of importing, we can procure it from. Now our Vande Bharat coach production was almost stopped because of the import was stopped because of the war. So the entire schedule was postponed by almost 6 months because we couldn't import even one wheel. So kindly look into that wheel also. If anybody can come forward for that, it will be helpful for us. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for reminding me, sir.